Is this Wenson's idea of humor? Well, you look hardy enough. Won't botch the tale of Bloody Bones too badly, I suppose. Still, I'm curious as to how Hallam expects you to bring me back from the edge of the Great Cycle. But that's his problem, not mine. They are Almain, settlers from the west, searching for a place to plant their flag. Poor creatures. I've never seen such terrible luck. Camped just outside Uduath, right in Bloody Bones' warpath. Better they had cut their own throats. A kinder fate. I've always known my place as being among the heroes of the court. What other outcome could there be for one so deserving of adoration? You dustlings have a similar concept. I believe you call it death. But there is no elegance in your mortality, no poetry. Those of my kind perish, only to have their magic pass on into the Great Cycle, where it returns in kind, reborn into a world that welcomes such new beginnings. The Duke of the Cursed Fomorians, Slayer of Pombero and Protector of the Mabinogi. But you may call me brother. I have fought with the lords and ladies of the Court of Enchantments for 3 seasons. My skills with the blade and in the bed know no equal. A close companion he was, a true brother in your mortal understanding of the word. I trusted him, I had to, as he played such a vital role in my most memorable song. Is there any other way to view the warrior who saves your life time and again? Let me be truthful with you, Dustling. I've never seen Bloody Bones act so erratically. He cares nothing for the story, as if he craves a different outcome. Instead of spiriting away a young mortal maiden, he took an entire camp. Men, women, children. It's mad, and certainly not part of the tale. And I thought this ballad couldn't get any worse, considering my impending demise. Well, let's get this over with, shall we? The hunt goes on. Kidnapped mortals have been here for days. Their condition worsens, if they're still alive at all. Bloody makes his home in the vast hollow of Uduath. It was once his clan home. I'd suggest we separate but this hollow is a bottomless pit when explored alone. Onward! Bloodies around here. Somewhere. Kidnapped mortals have been here for days. Their condition worsens, if they're still alive at all. The hunt goes on.
So the witch was right. Help has come from Sir Ferrara the Fair, who flounders in the puddles of Uduath. Such a champion should never lose his way, not in his own song. You, new knight, leave now, forsaking the last prisoners, and I will share with you my knowledge. How I came to change things. Stay, and you'll have nothing but corpses. They are safe, but while mortals have no cares, they also have no time. I can keep them here in Uduath for as long as I wish, until they are but dust. Oh, I don't know who she is. I don't care. What concerns me is power. The power to end this pitiful design. In every song, the summer champion triumphs. His enemy falls. How long has this been the way of the telling? This existence. It is not a life. It is not a death. It is a snare in which I have struggled for centuries. No more. That's true. My intent was never to do harm. All I want, all I have ever wanted was love. Not to be alone in my eternal grief. Fine. The prisoners are free to go. But you shall take their place. You shall be Bloody Bones' new desire.
Well done, Sagwell. You have proven yourself worthy of the name. Hallam's trust in you was not misguided. I don't know what to make of Bloody's tale, but it has the ring of truth to it. We must return to Wenson and tell him what we've learned here in Uduath. Keep moving.
ballad was certainly impressive. One for the telling.
Don't mind my stares. You're the first mortal I've ever seen.
The hero. I am relieved to see you well. What is happening? First Sagrel, and now Bloody Bones. These are shocking developments. Listen, Hallam and I have been discussing what transpired in Uduath. You are needed for a very special quest, a song of your very own. You must travel to the home of Tenwa, also known as the Librarian. It is an important journey, not without its perils. I know little about the Librarian. Only that she and Hallam have spent many seasons studying the ebbing tides of magic and how best to preserve our ballads. She is an odd creature, quite aloof and reclusive. From what I've heard, she enjoys the scholarly arts of men with all their brittle, ink-stained quirks. Do not rouse your mortal worry for Hallam. He has left the court seeking answers to our many questions. He will return in time. If someone is corrupting the songs of this great house, Hallam will find them. He is the storyteller, and he knows our ballads better than anyone. Go to Tenwa's cottage in Haxi. She will be waiting for you. Retrieve a ballad from her collection of fey cairns. It is called The Hero and the Maid. Bring it to me, and guard it with your life. Its worth cannot be measured. The library is a collection of special lore stone called cairns, in which are kept the greatest of summer court ballads. As long as they are safe, so too are our songs. The library was not Lord Issa's idea, but the inspiration of Hallam the White. He created the cairns and cast the spell that protects them. The world is changing. Everyone knows it, even if some choose not to accept it. Even as summer court magic weakens, our library of lore will remain strong. Her cottage stands in the gap between Yolvan and Haxi, southeast of here. It is an isolated spot, safe. Tenwa is expecting you.
Glynal, I assure you, it's an ancient... codex, just like in the tales.
Intriguing. And why would such a thing be revealed to a child of dust?
And here I was beginning to think that you'd never show up. This is Glynal, lore master of the House of Ballads. Give the codex over to him, and he may have your answers. I'm a woman of many talents, and we're all taught that we must use our talents for the greatest good, right? The Codex of Fate is no simple lore stone. It's more subtle and complex than any mortal could comprehend. But a lore master of ballads may be able to interpret it. We are the charmed, the subtle, and the inspired. In happier days, we were the loftiest of the mortal races. We despise open war. But for decades, the Tuatha have been at war with us, pushing into our lands and forcing us to take up arms. For a long time, they were content to keep to their play of the summer and winter courts. Now we fight Gadflow and the Tuatha for our very existence. A close friend once told me, strive to be whatever you want to be. Fate might be a lie, but if it isn't, then worrying about it won't change a thing. Glynal's one of the greatest balladeers amongst the Fae, and the most learned lore master you'll find outside of Issa. And as it happens, he owes me a favor. The Fae do not have a written language, so their tales are their lifeblood, their history, and their future all in one. The House of Ballads is where they enshrine these legends and celebrate them, time and again. The Summer Court, or the Seelie Fae if you prefer, embody the growth and energy of nature, but they can still be as aloof and uncaring as a brutal summer day. The current High King of the Fae is Titarian, the wisest of the Summer Court. While Gadflow has undermined the Winter Court, he tries to keep their cycle in balance. You haven't been around much, have you? The Tuatha have been pressing west from their home in Alabastra. Right now, they're only threatening my people. But if we fall, the Tuatha will turn their eyes to the other mortal races. Titarian isn't quite what you'd expect from the High King of Summer, but he hasn't got the arrogance of his cousins, or their cheer. Ever since Gadflow killed the High King of Winter and started the war, Titarian has become distant and melancholy, and blind to the dangers around him. The Tuatha are a radical sect of Fae within the Winter Court, led by Gadflow and his insane rants about their new god. They've taken power and declared war on mortals. They use raw prismia to enhance their power, but the most terrifying thing to the Fae is simply the fact that their siblings have changed so completely. The Winter Court, or the Unseelie, embrace the destruction and decay of nature. They aren't evil, but they aren't exactly the best of friends. Normally they share power peacefully with the Summer Court, but since the Tuatha have seized power, there is neither peace nor predictability. Lore Master Glynal has devoted centuries to the study of lore and ancient Fae stories. The codex you found isn't just any lore stone. Just talk to him, and I'm sure he'll be able to shed some light on the issue. Be on your way.
You must be Lady Shear's friend. She speaks very highly of you. An occasion rare enough to be worth recording in its own right. But let's see this codex. Oh, nothing. This is no mere lore stone, you know. The Codex of Destiny is distilled knowledge from the High King of the Fae, given to the first Fate Weavers. To have such knowledge in your hands is a tremendous gift, but why did it reveal itself to you? Surely you have a part to play in some great tale. Perhaps you'll act as the chosen pawn, or even the wisest fool. Few children of dust have ever had such an honor. Now, I can only make out some parts, but this is odd. The Codex speaks of an exception, a void, an end to the endless. This is simply too much. The High King would never pawn such absurdity off as wisdom. I'm afraid I cannot. This simply cannot be the true Codex of Destiny. It must be nothing more than a very impressive forgery. It speaks of impossible things. Changes to fate, death of the immortals, and other heresies. To ascribe these lies to the High King would be treason. I would thank you to take your Codex away from here. I will have no part in these lies. He is an offense to our people. He upsets the natural order, and his war breaks the cycle. I will speak no more of it. Is there a meaning to it? Only its author can tell you. Do not bother me with such foolishness again.
Lionel spends his life cherishing old stories, but show him something truly new, and he dismisses it. Tragic. No, I bet my blades that it's real. Lionel may be a very learned scholar, but it's been ages since he had to learn anything new. Most Fae don't take well to new ideas. If this old fool thinks the High King would never have written the Codex, then it's all the more important that the High King see it. Titarian isn't like other Fae. I'm sure he'd be interested in you, even if you didn't have that Codex. The only problem will be meeting him. His court is in the city of Isa, and few mortals are permitted to enter its gardens. I do know one individual who can allow you to enter, but you'll have to meet him alone. Niralim is a private person, and he carries a grudge against me, although perhaps person isn't the right word for him, nor is him. You'll find him in southeast Dalantoth at Caer Niralim. Just head towards the giant tree, and, well, you'll see. That Codex isn't just a complicated lore stone. It seems to tell a tale most Fae don't want to hear, and created by High King Titarian himself, no less. Interesting. None of us could have foreseen the rise of Gadflow and his army, but we should have, and now we're all facing the price. That old coward. He may have lived 100 heroic lives, but he's lost the moment he faces something truly new. Pathetic. Niralim is the oldest living mortal. He remembers the time before even the Fae called these lands home. You should see how they cherish him. He rarely grants an audience to visitors. His tenders say he knows the future as well as the past. It makes him very particular about what he says. We've known for a long time that Prismere crystals allow us to store and focus magical power. But we have no idea how Gadflow got a hold of so much of it. It makes his Tuatha the most dangerous. You'll have to meet him on your own. I'd accompany you, but Niralim and I have our disagreements. Good luck with Niralim, and ignore anything he says about me.